In this video, we're going to discuss how to import audio into your current Pro Tools session. When we import audio into a Pro Tools session, we can import it into our clip list over here, or we can import it actually into a track in the edit window. We do that by accessing the Import Audio dialog box, which is contained underneath the File menu, Import Audio. Also, you'll see that there is a shortcut that is associated with it, Shift-Command-I. So here is our Import Audio dialog box. There's a variety of areas of this box that we should go over to help you understand better how to utilize it. I'm using this on a Macintosh. If you're on a PC, it'll appear slightly different, but the main elements of the dialog box are the same. Here's where you navigate to a specific file that you may want to import into your session. I've navigated to an audio files folder in one of my pre-existing sessions. So I can scroll and find a particular audio file that I may want to import into my open session, and I can click on it. Once I've clicked on that particular file, a bunch of information is available about that file. First of all, it tells us the type of file. It's a WAV file. It tells us the length of the file, the size of the file, most importantly, the bit depth and or sample rate of the file, and whether it's a mono or a stereo file. This information over here tells us whether or not this file type can be added directly to our session. It can without being converted. The reason for that is I must be in a session that's 44.1 kilohertz, and if I am clicking on this audio file and it's the same, then it doesn't need to be converted. So it can be added directly to this session. Also, again, as a review from our last video, file types that may be slightly different bit depths, for example, 16 or 32-bit, could also be added without being converted, since Pro Tools 10 now supports multiple bit depths in one session. It's important to make sure that we understand the differences between these different add or copy buttons. If we are going to import an audio file into Pro Tools and it is the same sample rate, then Pro Tools gives us the Add or Add All button. If we click the Add button, it will import that audio file into our Pro Tools session. However, the big difference here is that we are only adding it to our session. We are not copying it into our audio files folder. Pro Tools preferences default to a setting that allow us to import an audio file without actually copying it into our audio files folder. If you would like to have a copy of that audio file in your audio files folder within your session, then you have to click Copy. If you click Copy, then Pro Tools will force a copy of that to be placed in your audio files folder. If you had multiple files here, that's when Add All or Copy All might be important for you. If you want to copy all these audio files into your audio files folder within this session, we could do that by selecting Copy All. So I'm going to remove all of these right now so I don't import them. And let's continue and talk about this down here. Once we've selected an audio file, if we want to audition it, we can just by clicking on this audition button. You can see Pro Tools is scrolling through here, and looks like right now you should be able to hear that audio file. Here's also the volume control, so you can control the volume that you'll be listening to this audio file at. You have to make sure your audition paths are set up properly if you want to use this audition button in the Import Audio dialog box. And you do that under the Input-Output dialog box. Here you can see Audition Paths. that's where you set up how you might want to audition audio. This works for both the workspace window and also the import audio dialog box. Now, once you have decided to import this audio into your session, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to import that audio. And when you click Done, Pro Tools will ask you where you want to save those audio files. I want them to be saved in my current session's audio files folder. So I'll click Open, and then it'll ask you, would you like these audio files to be assigned to a new track or to just the clip list? For now, I'm just going to allow these to be placed in the clip list and not create new tracks. So I'll click OK, and you can see that Pro Tools imported those audio files into my clip list. Now, if I would like to, I could go ahead and add a new track by dragging that audio file to the tracks list. Or if I have an existing track that is already open, I could also drag this audio file directly to that track. Okay, back to our discussion. Now, if I want to go to a different session and I want to add an audio file, let's say I'm opening up this session, I know that this session was recorded at a different sample rate. It was recorded at 48 kilohertz and not 44.1, which is the sample rate of my presently open session. If I click on this, watch what happens to the buttons down here, especially the copy and copy all. They change to convert and convert all. The reason for that is, remember that we can't have multiple sample rates in the same session. We can have a variety of bit depths, but we can't have variety of sample rates in the same session. So Pro Tools is going to force us to convert this. Anytime Pro Tools has to convert a file, it will force it to be copied or converted and placed inside of the audio files folder. Okay, so if I say convert on this file or convert all, then you see that this has gone from grayed out, which it is right now, to not grayed out, and allows us to select the sample rate and also how we want our audio file converted. Do we want it just to convert real fast, or do we want it to convert very slow and give us the very best possible conversion? Depends on what you're using it for. If you're converting some files and they're going to be part of your final mix, then you probably want to select tweakhead or slowest. You want the very best quality in the conversion that you can get. So same thing, now that I have converted these files, I can click on it, done. It's going to place it in the audio files folder. Click done, you can see it converted it rapidly, and I'm going to place it in my clips list.